In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a CO2 dragster from scratch using a template. To get started, I'm going to open up the template that I have downloaded from the internet, and I'm going to begin editing. Typically, what I do when I start creating a CO2 car is I start sketching my side of the car first. I always like centering my car and zooming in just to make sure it's as centered as possible, as large as possible. It looks like about that's as big as I'm going to get it. I'm going to start with the simple line tool. With the straight line tool, one of the first things that I do is mark out and get an idea of where the power plant is. It's very important when we're planning out a CO2 car that we do not cut into the power plant. Otherwise, the car will not be legal for racing. And I'm going to start drawing a line. I'm going to go all the way through the outside edge. I'm going to make it really low. And this is probably the most basic I could make my car. Now, Inventor really likes to have everything as an enclosed shape. So there's a couple ways I could do this. My favorite way is just to draw a completed shape all the way around the top side of the car. I'm going to finish my sketch, and then I can do the most simple, which is extrude the car. I'm going to start extruding. I'm going to go to distance, all, and that will allow me to just cut out the entire top of the car. And I now have the side view marked out. Now this wouldn't be a particularly fast car. I could definitely add some more details. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on this symmetrical work plane that was already added into the template that I have downloaded from the internet. I'm going to make this visible by clicking on the visibility, and I'm going to begin sketching on my top view work plane, which is another feature that was already added into this template downloaded from the internet. Clicking on it from the top, you can see that I now have a nice flat surface, that top view work plane, to sketch out my top view. I'll go back to a home and look at it from a 3D point of view. And I'm going to start sketching now what I would like my car to look like from the top. So I'm going to click on Start a 2D Sketch, and I'm going to choose that top view work plane. And I don't like viewing it like this. I like to view it this way. Zooming in again. And now I'm going to mark out half of what I want my car to look like. All CO2 cars should be symmetrical. I'm going to keep it really simple using the straight line tool. I want to know where my power plant is, and just as important, I need to know where my CO2 car's axles are. And I don't want to ever cut into those axles when I'm first planning out my car. So I'm going to go from here and here, here. I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to connect up to that line, coming back to my line tool. Here and here. From there, I'm going to make a nice diagonal, and I love the rail design. I just think it's a really nice, simple design to easily make my CO2 car go fast. These must be my other power plant holes. So I'm going to go here, here, and meet up at the center of the car. Perfect. I now have half of my car marked out. Now if I try to extrude it at this point, it will not work. So I'm going to do like I did on the top. I'm going to continue on with my line tool, and I'm just going to make a big loop around the outside, and I'm going to finish the sketch. So now I have this weird shape, and I'm going to choose my my extrude tool. I'm going to choose distance, all, and I'm going to pull it through, and it doesn't look like it's doing anything yet. So let's see if I can try out different options. These buttons in the center will create different options, and really what I want to do is cut out. And you can see in red what it will be cutting. So I'm going to click on OK. This is exactly the right settings I want. So I now have half of my CO2 car marked out. Grabbing my orientation cube, you can see that I only have half done. So next step is I am going to do one of my favorite tricks. Go to Home, and I am going to mirror, using my symmetrical work plane, the extrusion from this side over to the other side. And first thing I want to do is find my pattern tool and look for this teeny tiny little button here that is my mirror tool. I'm going to click on that. And the first thing I want to do is, right here it's telling me, hey, select your features that you want to mirror. And the feature that I want to mirror is this feature. It gives me a nice little white dashed line. I'm going to select that. It's going to go from white to a blue and white. And then I'm done selecting my features. If I want to continue to select, I can, but I only want that one. And now I'm going to choose my mirror plane. I'm going to click on my mirror plane button, and I'll choose my plane, or my piece of paper, or my work plane that I want to use as my mirror edge. That is the reason that we have this template with the symmetrical work plane. I'm going to click on that. Another cool thing about Inventor is it gives me a nice little preview of, hey, this is what you're going to end up with if you click on OK at this point. And that is exactly what I want to end up with. So I'm going to click on OK. I now have a very simple CO2 car design. Now this design would not necessarily be fast. It's not very short. It has a lot of extra bulk in the back that I could go in and add a lot more features to. But when it comes to a nice, simple, easy to create design, it's definitely a great starting place.